Not sure what's going on there with Z.
I kind of feel like I'm the God, what the hell is that? The hell's the name of that character from Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, the candle.
Yeah, Lumineer, is that his name?
I don't know. Kelsey would know. Is that his name?
Yeah, what's his name? The candle from Beauty and the Beast.
Is it Lumineer? Kelsey, do you know?
I think it's something like that.
Do you remember the candle's name from Beauty and the Beast? No. You said it's your favorite Disney movie. Lumineer? Because they have the candle, they have the teacup.
It is Lumineer, yeah.
It's Lumineer. So there you go. All right.
So you're telling me that my hat that I'm wearing right now doesn't match this guy? I don't know why this is such a small photo, but okay, that's terrible. Hold on, hold on.
God, nobody could see that.
Yeah, let me find a different one. Hold on. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Yep. Thank you guys for being here. No, we kind of started off the video already about Beauty and the Beast, so there you go. That's all you got to know about this podcast. But as you guys can see, Z has the hat on. If you guys missed our last episode, it is Z's birthday, January 20th. As we are recording this, you guys won't be seeing this on that specific day, but as of this recording, it's Z's birthday. So put a comment in the comment section wishing Frecklehead a happy birthday.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Here we go. This is good. there it is.
So, Lumineer.
Yep, Lumineer.
That's you, Lumineer.
Yep. And by the way, real quick, live action Beauty and the Beast, terrible movie.
Never seen it, not going to.
Terrible movie. Very much of a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
But not a good movie. I don't mean to say terrible, but not good.
Have you seen Moana 2 yet?
No, I have not.
I have not either.
Yeah,
I was just wondering if it was any good.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews about it. And quite
keep making movies we don't need to make.
Yep. And quite frankly, I'm just ready for Toy Story 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's just let's wrap that up and end it, please. Should have ended on 3. Should have ended on 3.
Yeah, and like I said, the Toy Story 3 had the perfect ending. I don't know why you think it
absolutely did.
Okay, so you think it did?
Yes, 100% had the perfect ending. Andy grew up, gave his toys to little Bonnie, and everybody lived happily ever after.
Yeah. Actually,
that was it.
Here is the upcoming. Here you go, right here. So, yeah, here you go. And this is perfect. And this is some of the movies that you love.
They're making a new Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat, March 6th. And these are all 2026, guys.
Mario Bros. 2. Yep. Shrek 5. I did see they're making another Ice Age.
Yep. Angry Birds. Who cares?
Didn't even know there was a first movie out.
I think I actually saw it one time.
Yeah, Toy Story 5. Toy Story 4Z was just a money grab. That's all it was. It was a money grab. It was a way of, I don't know why they felt they had to make it, but it was that's what it was. It was a money grab. Oh, let's make a 4th Toy Story. That's gonna do great.
Well, and I think the cause behind now making a 5th one is seeing all the fans that got upset with the way it ended.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it didn't have a good ending. It didn't have a clear-cut ending. It didn't mesh everything together, and it didn't leave you satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, you have freaking Forky come in the movie.
Yeah. Freaking, and they're all like split apart. Like half of them are over here and half of them are over here.
Right.
So everybody in this one, everybody needs to come together. I'm sure Andy's going to get back in the scene. Grown up Andy going to get back in the scene. Yep. And all the toys are going to come together. And then Tom Hanks probably going to get arrested. So talk about a predator.
Oh my God.
There's a reason not in the country anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't he live in like Australia or something?
Yeah, somewhere. Stay over there.
Yeah, see ya.
No.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, this guy right here. This guy right here. Okay. he
was a good at character, yes.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah.
But like there was no point of putting him in there.
There wasn't. I just felt like the whole movie was unnecessary, and I feel like more people are gonna agree with me than not.
Well, I do agree with you. The thing is and kind of flamed me at the time because I'm a big Toy Story fan. And when the movie came out, I said I liked it. But to a certain extent, because I thought it was really funny. I thought just the movie in general looked great.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate the way it ended. I think we all cried the way it ended of seeing the two of them separate from each other because Woody decides to go with freaking Bo Peep
Yeah.
and live in a freaking carnival for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Freaking
You know?
idiot. Yeah, that's where Woody belongs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a terrible
No.
way to end the
No.
story.
Yeah. Awful.
Um, but kind of like what you said, it was like the actual plot of the movie, like Jesse and Potato Head
Mhm.
and Rex and Slinky, they weren't even in the movie.
No. No. So with 5, you need to integrate all those characters again.
But
And
before you say anything on that, I think
mhm,
the reason why, because somebody might be thinking this if they're watching it, because like I think the voice actors of some of them passed away, so like they didn't have any
mhm,
recordings or anything. Like, so I think they used previous recordings of the other Toy Story movies and they implemented it into 4.
mhm.
And that's why those specific characters didn't really have a role.
That would make sense. But now you've had all these years of this movie being in development, and so you need to at least integrate them more than you did last time, and especially with the technology you have at your hands, it should be something that can work.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll see. So obviously, starting the show off has nothing to do with what's in the banner, has nothing to do with what's in the thumbnail. But obviously, like I said, that's just where the podcast is. That's
Yep.
what the podcast is, and sometimes you just don't know what direction it's going to go.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to talk about. Sometimes it's
Yeah,
it's fun to start out with a different topic than,
yeah, yeah,
than what we're
exactly.
actually going to talk about for the video.
Yep.
Um yeah, so NFL playoffs. We haven't talked about it for quite a few weeks on our channel. Um and if you guys saw the last time that we recorded it, um I predicted an Eagles Ravens Super Bowl
Yep.
with the Eagles
Yep. I
winning.
said I was bookmarking it, and I did.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
With
Bookmarked.
the yep,
I will go
bookmarked.
back to that as well and record it and send it in the chat.
That's fine. Go ahead. I can't remember what Ann
I
predicted.
think I said Bills Lions.
Okay. So I mean, it might be like a half and half right here kind of thing.
Yeah, it
So
could. But yeah, really just about the playoffs. I think the main story to me is the Detroit Lions getting upset at
yeah,
home.
absolutely.
That's the main story. You have this team being a 1 seed and arguably being the best team in the NFL throughout the season, different points throughout the season. And granted, have battled a lot of injuries, but a lot of core talent as well was still available and everything else. And so them having a home game, having a week off for a bye week, really another week just to kind of prepare themselves. And they end up finding out they're going to face the Washington Commanders, a team who won 10 or 11 games this year. A
12. They
team
went 12 and
who
5.
did they win 12? Okay, so I was
Yeah.
off by a game or two. But they won 12 games this year. Obviously, they majorly exceeded expectations. I think most people probably thought they were just going to kind of be around mid for the most part because they're kind of a new team building itself with new ownership, new coaching. So they go on to beat Tampa in a good game, and then they find themselves facing the Detroit Lions on the road. Obviously, the Lions were favorited, but it's remarkable seeing what Washington's doing, and we'll get into Washington. But with Detroit, I mean, Z, just what a waste of everybody's time this year. Like if you're a Lions fan, and this is if I'm a Lions fan, this is my one concern I have is that I feel like we have the right coach, and I would feel like that our organization is going in the right direction over with how these last couple years have gone. But my concern, Z, is that the high the Lions have had the last 2 years, choking the NFC Championship last year and getting a 1 seed for like what the first time ever, are they going to achieve that high again? Are they going to reach that type of level again? It's not to say that they're going to go back to being a poor franchise or anything like that. But as a Lions fan, I have a little concern just in the sense of not only our history, but also looking at these last 2 years and with how that they've gone, especially this season, winning 14 games and getting a first round bye and then getting him kind of embarrassed at home, honestly. Um, I just it's hard for me to it would be hard for me to get around of like, man, when am I going to see that again? When am I going to see that level of football? Not that they can't be a playoff team next year, but that type of level of being that good of a football team for the Detroit Lions.
Well, it's a good question. I feel that relation in a way because the Ravens have had seasons the way the Lions did this regular season of going 14, 15 wins
Mhm.
and then just getting bounced in their first playoff game.
Yeah.
The Ravens have absolutely been there, and I understand the pain and agony of the fan base. But here's the thing: is Detroit will like obviously they'll be back. We know
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
They have
like, I'm
they,
still confident in them still being stable.
yeah, they have the best offensive line in the NFL.
Mhm.
They have one of the better receiving cores. They have the best running back duo.
Mhm.
They just need to get this defense tied together, and we'll see them back.
Yeah.
But I think this game has to be about the Commanders.
Well, it
Has to be.
does, yes. Yeah.
And every game, especially in the playoff season, every sport, no matter if it's a one game elimination or if it's a full 7 game series, if the team that wins it, the conversation always is this more about this team or is this more about that team? Okay.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
always a topic, it's always a conversation. This is absolutely about the Commanders for many, many reasons. One, the fact that they have a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean that's reason number
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
Um, you have a rookie quarterback that is now 1 game away from the Super Bowl. And by the way, I said in our chat, I said if Jayden Daniels makes it to a Super Bowl for Lamar, you will not hear from me for a year. I will disappear for a year.
Oh, that'd be pretty
Because
insane.
obviously they have similar playing styles, and uh, obviously Jaden kind of has that same kind of like body, if you will, of Lamar in his rookie year. And then as Lamar like went on, like Lamar got like bigger, and there were a couple seasons Lamar was a little fat. So I don't think Jay Daniels will ever be like a thick player. But uh, this is definitely about the Commanders, and it's good. It's always and good to see a Cinderella run in the playoffs,
100%.
and we're seeing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing it.
This is good for the league, 100%. We're not seeing, not like, I mean, obviously you still have the Chiefs in there, and sure you have your Eagles or whatever, but there's no Niners. There's no freaking, uh, I mean, really, who else has kind of been like in terms of recent memory?
Oh, I mean,
Niners.
Niners. I mean,
Um,
do you even want to say that? I know it's been a while, but the Patriots.
right.
Uh,
So obviously you have a break from the Patriots, and they have a ways to go, but you've had a break from them.
yep.
Um, you've
Just Tom
had
Brady in general.
Yeah, so I think really the other kind of probably outliers, the Chiefs there, um, but you have, but even too on top of that, you have a team in Washington where you can look at some teams that are more consistent in the playoffs but don't do much, like the Steelers or the Packers or different teams like that are usually in it but don't make much noise. Um, it's nice to see the formula change a little bit
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
like that. And you even have the Lions. The Lions the last 2 years have been good. Other than that, they haven't. So you have a little bit of change there. You have a team in Minnesota who was so much better than people thought, but ended up wasting everybody's time by getting blown out. Um,
Literally wasting everybody's time.
yeah, literally wasted. Yeah,
70% of that stadium was Vikings fans, and so I don't
yeah.
think it even really mattered if you were home or not.
Right. Yeah. So it's good to see the Cinderella run, but it's good for the NFL to see something new, see something different, see a young team that most people didn't think that they were going to move the needle much this year, be so much better than people thought, and have this type of run that is just, man, that Washington hasn't had in so long. So it's great, and it's great for the league of this type of story going on, and I think it's good for the league. I mean, like I said, outside of the Chiefs, that you are seeing some different teams up there. You are seeing another one, the Cowboys. Cowboys aren't there. Cowboys weren't there this year, so
Mhm.
that's another one, another team that doesn't freaking do anything, and that we're out. So it's just nice to see some different teams in there and just a little fresh slate. I know, like I said, I know the Chiefs are in there still, but like seeing the Lions, seeing obviously the Cinderella story with Washington, um, seeing Buffalo maybe have a chance to knock down the Chiefs. They haven't been to Super Bowl since Jim Kelly. You look at um, who else am I missing here? You look at a team in why am I blanking out so bad? You look
Well,
at a team in you look at a team in Denver. Sure, they didn't really do anything, but they still won 10 games with a rookie quarterback. And last year was a disaster for them. And so seeing them kind of take that next step forward, that's obviously a good thing to see. You see the Chargers get back in there. They haven't been in there for a little while. You see um, Minnesota, of course, who ended up being a 5 seed, but they won 14 games, but they still got blown out. But still, it's a sense of difference, a sense of freshness. You're not seeing the typical NFC with the Niners and the Eagles and the Cowboys and different things like that. You're seeing something different.
Yep.
And the story itself is great for the league. I mean, just the fact that a rookie quarterback who is in the NFC Championship and has taken this organization to the NFC Championship and one game away from a Super Bowl is just remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah. And the things with the Commanders is like they're out of every other team remaining, they're 100% outmatched.
Yeah,
100%. And almost like every aspect. But now they're gonna go against an Eagles team that the only reason why I think some people could consider them actually winning this game is because they're a division opponent and they've already played this team twice.
right.
So God, I mean, what an unbelievable win that would be for them to go into Philadelphia and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
beat them on the road.
yeah,
Um, I am gonna pick Philadelphia to win, unfortunately, but by no means is that a failure of them losing the NFC Championship game.
yeah.
But they have a chance.
They
They
do, and I
they have a
would. I
chance.
think. Most people are rooting for them to beat the Eagles. Um, I don't want to see a Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl again. I don't. I think that's the worst possible scenario to see a Super Bowl like that. The Eagles have had a really good season, but there's also things about them that don't move me much. With Washington, Jayden Daniels is exciting. It's not only that they're new, but you look at everything their organization's gone through with new ownership and everything like that. Just really exceeding all odds at the end of the day, and that's something a lot of people root for. Obviously, with Buffalo and the Chiefs, most people are probably rooting for Buffalo because people don't want to see Kansas City and they want something different. Buffalo hasn't been there since Jim Kelly. They've never won a Super Bowl. They've fallen short the last few years in the divisional and the AFC Championship round. So that's something different, and I think a lot of people are behind that.
Well, transitioning into last night
Yeah,
because I know Ed wants to hear my thoughts.
yeah, I do. Now, I might
And
not get them all here, and that's okay. I can get them off here as well.
yep.
But in terms of what you want to put out here, Z, and the time you want to take into it as we go a little bit longer here, this is your stage. I want to hear your thoughts just about going into the game. How do you feel with the way the game went? And just really how you're feeling now with the final outcome.
How can I feel about the final outcome after a play like that? And
I would have loved to seen the genuine in real time reaction.
um I didn't actually even watch the play. I literally closed my eyes and the if you're wondering why I didn't watch it, there's a long history of the Ravens needing to go for a 2-point conversion to either tie or they go to win the game.
Yeah,
And pretty much every single play has gone to Mark Andrews. I'm not going to go through and pull all these plays up. You can go on Twitter. You can look yourself.
yeah,
The reason why I didn't look is because the Ravens can never execute a 2-point conversion when they need it.
yeah,
And by the way, earlier in that quarter, it might have been the third quarter, they went for 2 points. They didn't get it. So think about if they would have kicked an extra. Now I understand why they did. They were down 21-19. They went for the 2 to tie the game. Think about if they just kicked the extra point
right.
after this touchdown, extra point would have been a tie game.
You know, I've seen this play before. I remember that this play happened before with the Ravens and Steelers. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, and
Yeah.
Mark Andrews dropped the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just seeing that in real time, that was the first thing that popped in my mind that I've seen this before, and it was the same exact result.
Yeah. That was another play I was kind of referencing to. One of the biggest plays that also hurt. Now, any team in football, if you're going to lose, the one thing you don't want to lose by is beating yourself. And the Ravens are historically known each and every season that they beat themselves.
Mhm.
And here's another prime example. I mean, it's just That's just
Yeah.
and who was it, by the way?
Yep. Marky
Now
Mark, baby.
now here's the thing. You got to feel for Mark.
See, I don't feel anything.
Well,
I don't feel anything.
and I know what you're gonna say here. Yeah, he's getting a check. He's getting millions of dollars. Uh, he's paid millions. Whatever. You got to feel for this guy because the level of hatred and the level of criticism that this man is going to receive of ruining Lamar Jackson's chance to win the game, of ruining the conversation of Lamar Jackson of him not being able to reach a Super Bowl is going to now continue another season. Quite frankly, because of Mark Andrews, and
Yep.
you kind of have to take it head on here. I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna get into what his future is with the Ravens, but this hurts.
Well,
This,
Z, yeah, no, it definitely does. Some of those plays that happen definitely brutal. It's when you look at that game, just missed opportunity. The Derrick Henry drop, the plays by Mark Andrews, the couple plays by Lamar, like it just gets that point you can't recover from it.
yeah.
When you just have those many mishaps that happen, when you turn the ball over 4 times, um, it's just hard to overcome that. You can overcome that against probably lesser teams, but when you're playing in a playoff game against Buffalo, you just can't, it's hard to overcome that.
And I think you could see just watching this game that just the Ravens are the better team. You just know they are. Like you see what happens when the Ravens start hitting on all cylinders. In that second half, they straight dominated. Here's a pick by Lamar in the first half.
Whatever that was.
And yeah, and again, yeah, right. And again, what are we doing here? Self-inflicted mistakes. And
Yeah.
you get into the second half where the defense starts tightening up. Derrick Henry starts rolling. Lamar is kind of chilling in the pocket again, and he's making his flashy plays. And the only reason why the Ravens didn't win the game is because they fumble the ball and they drop a 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Well,
And it's a yearly thing with the Ravens, and it's frustrating. Last year against Kansas City, Zay Flowers diving for the goal line and he fumbles it. And I can just go on and on. The playoff game against Cincinnati, we're on the 1-yard line. Tyler Huntley goes to reach the ball over, fumble. Sam Hubbard takes it 100 yards in the end zone. I can constantly provide examples of whatever this weird thing the Ravens have of just luck doesn't go their way, but also they panic. They know they have high expectations, and they do. But for some reason is that they get to these games against Buffalo, against Kansas City, and everything just goes out the window.
yeah.
And now here we are going into another offseason of winning one playoff game, and now we're going to have to watch the Bills and Chiefs, and we'd like to be on their level, but we can't because we only made to one AFC Championship game, and the Bills and Chiefs have faced off a million times against each other, and quite frankly, it seems like AFC is revolved around them.
Join us on the couch, pal. Join us right on the couch.
Yep.
Just like Patrick Queen said, he said, "Ro, I'm saving you a spot on the PJ."
Yes, he did. That guy has no reason to speak. So, just disappointing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Z, that's how I felt every year with Big Ben and Brown and Bell and those guys.
Yeah.
That's how I felt every year. They're right there with the Patriots, man, and they just cannot do it. They cannot do it. They cannot get over the hump.
And the reality is with the Ravens is that, listen, they have probably the best player in the NFL. You have the best player in the NFL, and for some reason you can't just get over this hump. And what are we going to look back on 10 years from now if we don't get to it? If Lamar ends up leaving,
Right.
if Lamar ends up retiring, and we don't get to it. You know what
Yep.
still haunts me the day is the fact that Steve Nash and Lamar didn't get to a finals.
All right.
It'll be the same exact feeling with Lamar Jackson on the Ravens.
What is he? How old is he? 27, 28?
He's 28 now. So next year he'll be 28, and he turns 29 in January. So He'll still have a couple more years till he hits 30.
Right.
And he's in his prime, and but he's obviously paid a lot, and it's going to be a bit harder to build the team around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
loss hurts.
That's the thing, Z. It just goes to show how much of a team game that football is. And you look at the Chiefs, and aside from the jokes and the ref stuff and everything like that, I mean, honestly, you have Patrick Mahomes. Whenever you have Patrick Mahomes, obviously you're going to be a threat. But look at the Chiefs; they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They've had one of the best defenses in the NFL the last 4 or 5 years because they've just done a great job at drafting their players.
Yeah.
They have. So you have that to accommodate it. You have great coaching. You have sound coaching, structured coaching. You have they find a way, man, to implement even just people that aren't the Kelseys or the Tyreek Hills or anything like that. They find ways to plug and play guys, and it works. And when you have that ability, no matter what your team's looking like, you're always gonna have a shot. And that's why I think the last 2 years where they've looked lesser than their normal selves, they still are winning it, or they're getting into the AFC Championship.
Yeah. That's why I still respect the
And
Chiefs.
you look at the Ravens, you have Lamar, who, in my opinion, has been the best quarterback this season. And you've had a great run game this year. You have found ways to. I think Lamar's taken great steps. I think this was his breakout season, in my opinion. I really do. Their defense struggled for the first 10, 11 games of the season, and then the final stretch, they did turn it around, and they had um, a lot of great numbers in statistical categories. But there's also when you look at some different aspects of them, some that can be coaching, that can be execution on their 2-point conversions, that can be like you said, just costly self-inflicted things. It can be where it can be a game where just the defense is soft. You're giving up a lot of yards as a secondary. I mean, I don't know. But when you look at some of these more structured based teams, you're not seeing that as much. And I don't know if that's a reason why in these last previous years, the Ravens haven't gotten over the hump because of just some of those things. And you just see teams like the Chiefs not doing those things. Um, but Buffalo took advantage of those self-inflicted things. The turnovers, the fumbles, the drops. They took advantage.
Well, that's what good teams do, right? That's what
Yeah.
good teams do when they create turnovers. It's always a team game. You kind of wish the Ravens defense last night would. The Ravens defense had 0 turnovers. They didn't play bad, but they had 0 turnovers. So you would wish they would have had one there, because I think if you lose the turnover battle, you're probably gonna lose. You're probably gonna lose the game.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna lose the game. No matter how close the game is. If you lose
Yeah.
a turnover battle, that's limit your chances of scoring, and you're probably gonna lose the game. So, um, yeah. Now we're moving on to a Bills Chiefs AFC Championship game again, and now we have an NFC East matchup in the NFC Championship. So I think everybody, I think everybody and their mother hopes that the Eagles and Chiefs don't face off each other. Yawn,
Nobody wants to see it again, dude.
yawn.
Nobody does.
So yeah, obviously, I mean, I'm excited for next Sunday, and it's just gonna be there's gonna be a lot of high stakes, especially in that Bills Chiefs game. Uh, and I think a lot more people outside of the Swifties watching the Chiefs. I think a lot more people are going to be intrigued to the Commanders game, just for the simple fact of, again, they're on a Cinderella run. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Eagles Bills. That's what I'm gonna go.
Eagles, Bills. Um, yeah, I really don't want to see Philly in there, man. It's hard to pick against them just given that they've been there before. And when you look at their defense, they have had like their defense has been top of the categories throughout most of the season. Um, Saquon just being a beast. But you also just look at Washington, and my mind tells me Washington, my heart tells me Philadelphia. Um, I'm really rooting for the story where a rookie quarterback gets to the Super Bowl and where a team like Washington completes the Cinderella story. Probably not win it, but I'm gonna roll with Washington. I'm gonna keep the hope, the faith alive in them, and that they do it, and that they are able to do this thing that has whenever it's happened last. So Commanders,
Yeah, who
Bills,
knows
Bills
when that
win.
last time happened?
Yeah.
There you go. Obviously, Commanders Bills Super Bowl will be about as unpredictable as you could possibly get, right?
It really would,
Who
and
knows if
honestly, it'd be super fun.
yeah. I mean, who knows if there was somebody in Vegas that bet on that before the season
Yeah,
even started? I
yeah,
doubt it.
yeah. No, it would be. I think that'd be super fun
Yeah, well,
doing that.
uh, yeah. I mean, Ed and I haven't given our thoughts on the playoffs in a couple weeks. Let us know on your thoughts on who's
Yeah.
remaining and if we missed any topics. I
The
mean,
playoff, yeah, the divisional round was good. The divisional round was good. The games
it
were
was good.
close. Games came down on the wire there. Seeing the lines upset, seeing what Washington's doing, um, seeing the Rams and Eagles game come to the end and snow. Command
Yep.
or Bills and
Bunch of
Ravens were
Eric's.
obviously a
Bunch of
really good game.
Eric's.
Yep, yep. So it was a good round for the NFL. It was an entertaining round. We'll see what happens on Sunday with this one. But before we close this out, Z, I just want you to sing this along with me. Hey, hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey, 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 hey. Let's go, Quirrell. And that's all you're gonna get from Z. He doesn't want to hear it. As I said on
See you guys. See you guys later. Have a good night.
last Sunday, I said go Bills. Z's out. He's still not over it, but hopefully we'll see.
I'll let you finish the
We'll
episode then.
yeah, you'll let me finish the episode. Hopefully this Sunday we'll see. We'll see a couple good games, and hopefully we see Washington defeat Philadelphia. So we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, guys, we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode.